So for this week, we're going to take a trip almost all the way back in September, and we're going to do some review of some of the words that we looked at back then. And the only reason we're going to do that, Michelle, I see your face. You're giving me kind of that pickle face or that lemon face. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, when your face is lime.
Right? Okay. Because on Thursday of this week, Alexander Smith, who is an archaeology student at Brown University, is coming to our school to work with just the 6th grade. Because he knows that we have been studying all of the ancient cultures of the ancient world, and that's what he's going to school for. He's actually, and we'll see him in what we're going to look at today, actually at dig sites where they found artifacts.
So his pictures?
We'll see pictures of him and videos of him, and then tomorrow you'll get to play around with the book. And Wednesday we'll create some questions for him, okay, that we'll ask him when he comes. And then on Thursday he's going to actually bring some real artifacts that he found at a dig site, and he's going to share them with you, and you're going to talk about them. You'll get to handle them and look at them. Yes, Jerusalem.
Did he only work like in Egypt or like different
His
places?
specialty, and listen to this, this is what's kind of cool, and if we can continue, we're going to actually hopefully set up a program where we Skype with him. Do you know what Skype is?
Yeah. We did that last year for Esperanza.
Okay, so you Skyped with someone. We're actually talking to Alex because he only can come with us until the end of this year, and then he's graduating. So he won't be a college student anymore. He'll actually be a professional. And we're hoping that next fall, with the group that's coming up from 5th grade, that we'll be able to do Greece when you guys do, when the next group does Percy Jackson. So we're going to do Egypt with you guys because he knows we spent a lot of time on Egypt. And then in the fall, he's going to come back and work with us through Skype, so we'll be able to converse with him about Greece with the 5th graders, who are now going to be 6th graders. Okay? So we're setting this up now, and I didn't want you to miss seeing him because he's awesome. And he really loves working with kids. So I wanted you guys to get that opportunity to really kind of talk to a real archaeologist in case some of you are actually interested in that job, because it's really fun. Yes, Star?
If you forgot about Egypt, like someone...
We're going to review over the next 3 or 4 days, so you remember. That's why we stopped Islam and we're doing this, okay? So we can kind of remember that stuff we forgot.
What is it? Egypt and it's all kind of the same.
Yes, a lot of the things are the same, right? We talked about that, right? Okay, so we're going to start with the word archaeology. Archaeology. Who remembers what that means? Anybody remember what archaeology is? Remember, please, to raise your hand if you have an answer. Yes, Abbas, what is it?
A person who finds stuff about human mechanisms.
Excellent. And what was important about what Abbas said? Do archaeologists study dinosaurs?
No, they study about the humans.
That's called a paleontologist, somebody who studies dinosaurs. Archaeologists study the human past or civilization. And those are presented there, right? So on June 11th, we're going to go for almost the whole day. And we're going to spend a deal of time in the Ancient Civilization exhibit. And then we're going to go down with Miss Neary to the first floor to the Modern Art exhibit. Okay, so you'll get to see both floors. Miss Neary is going to come with you, yes. So I'm going to work with you on the second floor. And then Miss Neary is going to take you and work with you on the first floor to talk about some of the artists that you talked about. Right, because the first floor is ancient cultures, and that's what we're going for. Okay. So we have excavation, which means to what? Let's review. Excavation means to dig it up. Preservation means to keep it safe or to make a copy that looks exactly like it looked before, to restore it. And then we do what? We present it or put it on presentation, which means it's there for people to see. And we're going to see all 3 of these steps in the book that we're going to look at. Okay? So I'm going to show you this iBook, and it's really cool. Today I'm just going to show you how to use the iBook. And then tomorrow you're going to work in partnerships, and you're going to actually get to use the iBooks yourselves. And you're going to have a few questions I want you to answer. Yes, Star? I think we're going to keep our dyads here from the earlier in the year. I said I used them for the art. I kept them because I liked the way they worked together.
What group is that?
We won't talk about it now. We'll see it tomorrow. Shafika, I believe you and Sajijo. Okay, it's only for a couple days. It's fine. All right, so here is the iBook. Now I have
But you promised me last time it was the last day I was going to do this.
Shafika.
You promised me.
Shafika, I'll talk to you offline and we'll see if we can change that or do something about it, okay? Thank you. All right, I'm happy to listen to you, but you don't have to shout in class to get your voice heard, okay? Memorial Art Gallery, this is their book. Now, the first thing I see is what?
Sarcophagus.
It's a sarcophagus, or sarcophagi is more than one, you're correct. But it is sarcophagus. Is this King Tut?
No.
No. We know it's not. What was different about King
He
Tut?
had more gold and he had blue,
gold, which shows us he was a what?
pharaoh.
He was a pharaoh. Now, this gentleman here, we'll learn about him in here. This is our actual mummy at the Museum of Rochester. The Memorial Art Gallery has a real mummy. Just listen. This is the actual sarcophagus, what we call the anthropoid, which means it looks like a person, right? This is the anthropoid sarcophagus, or coffin, for a rich man, but not a pharaoh. Did he make it look like King Tut?
No.
Kind of, right? It wasn't quite like it. Do we know, what's the little bit of a difference, though, about it?
His beard, he had like sideburns
face.
like that.
He's a little what?
Chubby.
He's a little chubbier, isn't he? So we know King Tut was what? King Tut was a...
Short, skinny.
No.
I mean tall, skinny.
What was the deal with King Tut?
He's rich. He's a pharaoh.
He was pharaoh, he was rich. Why was he little and skinny?
Because he was chubby.
That's my question, Emily. Why was King Tutankhamun, or Tutankhamun, why was he small in stature and thin?
He was.
Right, he did go to war, but what? Come on, guys.
Because he has a lot of gold.
He was a
Poor person.
He was a
Rich
boy.
boy.
He was a boy king.
And then he
And he died very young, so he was little. This is an adult man. We talked about that. We did. We studied Tut. He was very. King Tut was very young when he died.
It was in Mr.
He was a teenager.
How did he die?
Like 18?
Guys, see, this is what I mean. We need to do some recall. We did all this before. Shh. It was a family member who was trying to be sneaky and get the throne. But we'll talk about that later. This gentleman was a rich overseer, was a rich man. And when he died, he wanted to be buried in the same way as
King Tut.
the kings. And he was alive during the time of King Tut. And so he wanted to be buried in the same way. So even though it looks a lot like Tut, it's not. Okay, it's a different man. We'll learn his name.
Chubby,
in a
that's
moment.
how you can tell.
Okay, so that Alex is the archaeologist. Now, when we're working with an iBook, like with a touch screen phone, to turn pages, just like we would in a magazine, we swipe. Okay, so this is our first page. Let me darken it a little bit so you can see the words a little bit more. Okay, now we're not going to go through the whole book and read it, because that's what I'm going to have you do tomorrow with your friends. But right now I'm going to show you some of the functions and what you can do. So here's a word. If you did not know this word, you could tap on it. And up comes the definition. Okay, so if it is a dark word you don't know, you just tap on it and it comes up. The study of artifacts of ancient societies to learn about their way of life. Is that what archaeology means?
Yeah.
Yes, so that will come up. All you have to do is tap on the dark word and it will go. And then you can tap on the screen anywhere and it will go away. All right, I can do that with any dark word in this book.
Only dark person.
Only dark words, yes.
What about the one over there?
It's the same. This is archaeologist. It's the same. No, that may not have it, but it's, you know, an archaeologist is somebody who studies, correct?
Studies this.
Now, here on the bottom is a picture. It looks like a photo, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of small. I want to see it big. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tap on it. It's going to turn big. Now, the one thing is, what's nice about this iBook is that it's not just one picture. There's many, so you can scroll through these. Now, the pictures that we'll see here are actual artifacts from Egypt, number one, or if they're pictures, they're objects from our collection here at the Memorial Art Gallery. Okay, many of them. So here we go. So there's a scarab beetle.
What is that?
Remember the little tokens we put in the different places on the mummy? This is a scarab beetle. Remember, scarabs are very difficult to kill, so they were a symbol of eternal life to the Egyptians. So this is an actual carved scarab beetle. Okay? This is a necklace, and if we can look closer, let me see if I can.
Amulet.
There are amulets, you're correct, but this amulet is special. Can you see what that amulet is?
It has beetles.
No.
It has like snails.
Do we know the eye?
The
Eye of Ra. Exactly. These are